Ogojaja, there are reports about the impact of this continuing political crisis on Rivers State, and I wonder if this is true. You can confirm or deny it. There are reports that many businesses are standing still, waiting for things to be more definite as far as governance is concerned. That in fact there is a vehicle assembly plant that is supposed to take off in Opobo, but because of the political uncertainty, that has not happened. Is that true? And if it is true, how worried is the Rivers State government, and what is it doing to exit this protracted crisis period?
Okay, let me correct Mr. Wallo once more. I stated clearly, very clearly, that the reason for which Governor Fubara was nominated and elected as governor of Rivers State was as a result of his track record. I can state without equivocation that he was one of those behind the success of the last administration. He was the accountant general of the state. And you mustn't have a track record not until you either hold one political office or the other. Don't also forget that accountant general is a career civil service job. He was appointed as the accountant general because he was prudent in the management of the resources of the state wherever he found himself. Having stated that, let me state clearly, when you ask the genesis of what the problem is, Governor Fubara has told Nigerians that he has no issue with his predecessor. He has mentioned to you over and over, but Governor Wike has said to Nigerians that, look, he wouldn't allow any person to take over his structure. I want to state here clearly that Governor Fubara is not interested in the structure. He hasn't been interested. He hasn't told anybody that he wants to control any structure. His interest is in the development of Rivers State. I wouldn't want to go personal when Mr. Wallo said people like Amnosisi Gogojaja. I want to address issues. Governor Wike had said to Nigerians what his issues are, that he wants to control the structure. He wants to control everything in Rivers State. And you know that that wouldn't be possible. And therefore, I want to say that, again, whether you like it or not, wherever you have crisis, there are certain areas it will affect. However, Governor Fubara is facing the task of governance. He's facing the task of development. And if you go to Rivers State today, a lot of projects are being executed and they are carrying on. Maybe, like I said, if the issues are coming up, I want to address them, tackle them headlong. I wouldn't want to parry any question. Yes, there must be areas the crisis will be affected. However, Governor Fubara is executing projects he has promised Rivers people.
So let's talk about the areas that this crisis, of course, some of the areas this crisis is affecting. One of them is the budgetary process. We've seen now the Amewule-led House of Assembly and the Okojobo group, the back and forth. One saying your seats are vacant, the other one saying no, your seats are vacant. And then the Amewule-led House saying, well, the government can present the budget. By the way, they are still stuck on the previous budget that has not been presented. And I imagine what that is doing to governance. And the Okojumbo group says, we are ready for 2025 budget. Clearly, and I speak with business people, investors, and these are the kinds of things they look at and they say, no, don't go to Rivers State, because clearly the atmosphere is very uncertain. They can have a deal with the government today and tomorrow another group says another thing. So there's no point even coming in the first place. So clearly this is affecting, governance and even the business activities a lot.
Well, if you're talking about the 2024 budget, I think that is an appropriation law in Rivers State today. That budget has been presented and signed into law. I think that the governor is talking about the presentation of 2025 budget to the Rivers State House of Assembly. There is no group that can claim that there is no budget in Rivers State. The budget has been signed into law. And I will want to implore you, whoever you have been advising not to come to do business in River State, please do well and tell the person to come and invest in our state. The 2024 budget is in operation.
Honorable Gogojaja, just a moment. I will not let that slide. You misquoted me, obviously. You said I'm advising people not to come to River State. You know I never said that.
Whoever you have an opportunity to advise,
all right,
please advise encourage the person to come to River State.
Because facts are sacred. I don't want anybody to misquote me on this one.
No, I won't misquote you.
All right. Sure. So let me ask Dr. Walu as well. Do you agree with him, particularly regarding the budget? Also comes to the seats that have been declared vacant. At this rate, if we're going by what both groups have said, all seats are vacant. But let's talk about the budgetary process and how this is affecting, business governance itself. Do you agree with Honorable Gogojaja that this is not affecting in any way?
The truth is that when people want to help you, they tell you the truth. But when they want to help themselves, they tell you what you want to hear. I think what my brother there has said is what he thinks the governor wants to hear, and he's saying it to help himself, not to help the governor. As of today, the authentic House of Assembly in River State is the one led by Martin Lamegule. Only last week, the appeal court said so. Before then, the Omoto Judge Somochoso said so. And of course, River State is made up of 32 seats. The assembly is made up of 32 seats. And what is referring to as River State House Assembly is 3 persons. That is not what Rivers people want. That's not what Rivers people voted for. Now, even if we have crisis, you will expect that people will follow the law and obey the law. And when there is clarity as to what the law says, people are bound to obey them. It doesn't matter how you feel. You may not be comfortable with the position of the law. Because when government becomes a lawbreaker, it invites anarchy. And we have seen a lot of it, or something close to it in River State. We have seen people die. We have seen properties destroyed. That's the kind of thing that's going on in River State. It's telling you to tell those who want to come to River State to come and invest. It's not your business to do that. These business people, they have their information and they get information. They know how to do the analysis. They know where to put their money. So they will not rely on what one person or the other tells them. And when you talk about who is authentic and who is not authentic, ordinarily, let us even assume, without conceding, that some people have lost their seats. The normal thing to do is for you to put in place a process so that there is representation. Because we're talking about democracy. What we have in River State today is dictatorship, wherein the governor is both the assembly, is the executive, and to an extent the judiciary. And in that kind of situation, what you will have is chaos. There's no development going on in River State. Let nobody be deceived. There's nothing happening in River State. You say a lot of projects are going on. You need to mention them. You need to let people know what are these projects, what are the impact of those projects, and who approved those projects. If you don't have a budget and you are going ahead spending public funds, all because you think that it suits you at a particular point in time, I believe that one day this matter will come to a head in the court of law. And everybody will know who is right or wrong. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't want to bother so much about the legalese. But the truth of the matter is that last week there was a court judgment saying that Martin and co. are the authentic leadership of the River State Assembly and have asked the governor to represent the budget. But people take public affair and treat it like private affair. River State does not belong to Governor Fubara. It belongs to Rivers people. He's our governor, yes, but he has to follow the law. He has to work with other people. He wants to work alone. He's comfortable with the 3 persons that like his errand boys. He tells them what to do and they do it overnight.
Well, Mr. Walu,
that they are making reference to, that budget was passed overnight. I was in cabinet then. I didn't even get to hear that we were going to present budget. Ordinarily, every commissioner was supposed to go and defend their budget before the State House Assembly. But that didn't happen. Do you call that a budget? Do you call that a government that is democratic? Do you say that government cares about Rivers people? and their future? The answer is no.
Well, Mr. Walu, the River State government has since appealed that judgment, and we imagine that following that appeal, that perhaps things will stay as they are. But lawyers can interpret that. Let me bring this now to Mr. Gogojaja. What needs to give such that there can be a solution to this political crisis?
No, let me correct some impressions so that Mr. Walu does not misinform Nigerians. First is you will not divorce this matter from the incidents of 30th October 2023. Some people were directed to go and serve the governor an impeachment notice. And when they got there that morning, the first thing they did was to say they have suspended 4 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Don't forget that these people are members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And on the same date, 30th of October 2023, another speaker emerged in the person of Right Honorable Edison Eye. And within that period, when another speaker emerged, that was when Martins Amehule and his group approached the State High Court or Federal High Court to determine the authentic speaker. Don't forget, there are 2 speakers now. And between the period they went to court and the 11th of December, they defected to another political party. They had initiated the matter you are talking about before their defection. Don't also forget that there were 2 claimants to the office of the speakership of River State House of Assembly. Having defected, nobody anticipated that the speaker would be part of those who would defect. Now, Edison went to the State High Court, the Court of Justice Dana Gogo, to declare him the authentic speaker of River State. And he got an ex parte order to function in that office without interference from the other group. And it was on that basis that on the 12th or 13th of December, he declared their offices vacant. He rightly wrote to INEC. And as soon as he wrote to INEC to declare to fill the offices, Amehule has never told you, and I'm sure that they will not inform Nigerians, that they ran to the Federal High Court, the Court of Justice, Donatus Okorowo. They swore to an affidavit agreeing, affirming that they have defected to the APC, and that the court should restrain INEC from either withdrawing their certificate of return and filling their offices. That order they got, and that is the order they are used. They haven't told any person that they swore to an affidavit. That having declared, Supreme Court had earlier said that as soon as you defect, you automatically lose your office. Now, having declared their seats vacant, they ran to Justice Okorowo's court to get an ex parte order restraining INEC from filling their seats, from conducting elections to fill their seats. These are things they won't tell you. And therefore, when you say that appeal court has said that Martins Amehule is the authentic speaker, this is a matter he filed before his defection. They will also tell the world this. And therefore, you can't place something on nothing and expect it to start.
Mr. Gogojaja, pardon me if I'm coming there. Can 3 members form a quorum to preside over State Assembly affairs?
Sure.
3 members, just 3 members.
Sure. What does Chapter 5, Part 2, Section 96 of the Constitution, if you permit me to read, it says the quorum of a House of Assembly shall be 1/3 of all members of the House. That's it. But a lot of people stop at subsection 1. If you go to subsection 2 of that section, it says, if objection is taken by any member, if objection is taken by any member of the House present, that there are present in the House not fewer than 1/3. So it depends If you check the constitution, the only person who can determine if the House has formed a quorum is a member sitting in that chamber, not any other person, as provided by section chapter 5 part 2 section 96 subsection 2 of the House. So when you talk about quorum, you do not have, no other person has the right to draw the attention of the speaker to the quorum of the House except the member that is sitting. But when Nigerians read the constitution, they only restrict themselves to the provisions of section 1 of 96, section 2, subsection 2. I can tell you that sure, the House can sit with 3 members and perform the business of the House.
All right.
That's the constitution.
All right, very quickly, Mr. Gogojaja, speak to solutions. What should give for peace to reign in River State?
For me, I think that they instituted a matter in Justice Okorowo's court. And since they got that restraining order stopping any from conducting election in their constituencies, they haven't returned back to that court. And that's an ex parte order. I feel that those who have defected according to the judgment of Supreme Court have automatically lost their seat. You don't even need an interpretation of court.
But Mr. Gogojaja, parties are choosing which judgments to obey, and when they refuse to obey a certain judgment, they go to a higher court. For instance, the River State government has approached the Supreme Court following the judgment that affirmed Martin Amewule as Speaker. So, are the courts the solution? Are you sure that the courts are the solution to this?
Now listen. Even in the 8-point agenda they were talking about, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu offered to bring solution to the crisis, when it came to the issue of the members of the River State House of Assembly that have crossed to the APC, what did the president say? The president said they have already crossed the other side of the river, and that he will not allow them to return. What does that mean? That they have already crossed to APC. That's what the president told them. Why are they disobeying the president? Why are they saying they are no longer members of the APC? They told Mr. President that they have crossed over to his party, and President said that, look, people have already crossed over to the other side of the river, and I won't allow you, I can't receive new children and allow them to go back. But then to return to say to Nigerians that they are no longer members of the APC is also a disobedience to Mr. President. They remember where they are, go back to their constituencies to recontest and see if they will be voted to return to the House. As we speak, they are no longer members of the House, and that is the simple truth.
Well, Mr. Gogojaja, I think it was the FCT minister that asked the governor to obey court orders, right? So if you say that even though this case was put in court before an incident happened, the onus is then on the party who is aggrieved to go to court to vacate that particular judgment. But I think we all agree that court orders or judgments should be obeyed when they are given and not choose. And I think it goes to the other party, to Dr. Wolu. Mr. Gogojaja, just a second, pardon me. Let's allow Dr. Wolu speak to this one as we wind down, because it's also been said that your group is choosing which court order or judgment to obey.
That's not true. That's not true.
Now, the person, if you ask me, the person who disobeyed the president and said so very clearly to the world is the governor. Because after the resolution was made, the governor came back to the state and announced to Rivers people and the world at large that the agreement was not a death sentence, that it was something he was ready to implement, and that there was no price too high to pay for the peace of River State. And I like that sentence, that there is no price too much to pay for the peace of River State, because without peace there cannot be development. Now, a few weeks after, when those who want to help themselves, like I said, when they want to help you, they tell you the truth. When they want to help themselves, they tell you what you want to hear. When they went back to him and told him what he wants to hear, he turned and said that what happened with the president was a mere political, I don't know what name he called it, and that he has no constitutional backing, and then that he was not going to go ahead with it. And that is why this problem has lingered. For me, it is not correct for anybody any individual, no matter how highly placed, or any institution to disobey orders of court. Because without the judiciary, this place will be an animal kingdom. Without law and order, man becomes an animal, living by his instincts. Unfortunately, we have a situation where those who are supposed to keep the law are the ones breaking it. And some people, because it feels good, because they think that there's something they have to benefit, are supporting that. That should not be allowed. Well, let me tell you, River State is too important to be toyed with by many people who are uninformed about politics and democracy, but who have become very prominent in the politics of River State.
Well, gentlemen, we have to anchor at this point because of time.
So, guys, it is still shocking how one man's ambition can just cripple an entire state. That is the scenario being played out in River State. Now it is affecting businesses. I mean, nobody wants to set up his or her business in an environment that is experiencing the kind of tension that is being seen in River State. Take a look. So, guys, it is becoming obvious that, Wike is not bowing back, as in he's not giving up in this fight, because he knows that his political future depends on what is currently happening. So if he decides to surrender, it's going to affect him hugely, and he has no option than to fight more. I mean, that's the only thing that Wike is left with. There is no other option for him, if not for him to just keep fighting to see if anything is going to be left for him. Because as it stands now, Wike is almost losing his structure. You can imagine if the Supreme Court gives final judgment that these lawmakers are not qualified, to be lawmakers. And then Wike has lost all those at the local government area. If he equally loses these ones at the state assembly, guess what? Wike will be left like a desert. He will just be alone. He will be empty, and that is why he's willing to fight to finish, because everything about his future politics depends on these lawmakers and the few of them that are in the National Assembly, that are helping him out. If not, Wike has crashed. Wike has crumbled. Wike is sinking. Wike is trying to survive. Wike is just, raising his hand as somebody that is being drowned as he stands now. And that is why he doesn't want to give up in this fight. He wants to fight it to finish, because he knows that his political future is almost coming to an end. I mean, Fubara has really dealt with him, has given him the highest of the blows, especially during this last local government election. The way Fubara went, he just went into another party and used that party to conduct the election and cleared, I think, all the seats. So you can imagine the strategy. And I believe that strategy, if used again in the next governorship election, I believe that it will be easy for Fubara to win. So, guys, you have seen what is happening in River State, and Wike is not ready to quit in this fight. He wants to fight to finish. Fubara himself is saying that he's no more going to. Initially, Fubara will always tell Wike, what have I done? What are my sins? But as it stands now, Fubara has toughened. Fubara has toughened. I mean, his own nice, like, if the heaven is falling, let it fall. That I'm not going to yield. I'm not going to give up. I mean, Wike is not going to see Fubara come to beg him. He had that opportunity. Honestly, he had that opportunity initially. But as it stands now, he doesn't. Fubara has toughened, and Fubara has gained so much support. I mean, from almost all the key politicians. You can imagine people like Rotimi Amechi, Peter Odele, them and co. standing with Fubara. Do you know what that means? These are people that were all together with Wike. Don't forget that it was Amechi, like the story we heard. Amechi was the one that brought him into politics and helped him to get to where he is. But today, he is a typical enemy to Amechi. And we all know the role of Peter Odile. But guess what? All these people, these key politicians, they've all dumped Wike. And like one man spoke, he said, nobody is a friend to Wike. I mean, Wike might just show you that he loves you today, tomorrow. But tomorrow, if things don't go his way, Wike will dump you. Wike is not ready to like play baby politics. No, Wike will dump the person. So guys, these are some of the things we keep saying about Nigerian politicians, that it's not even about the people, it's about them. I mean, it's not about the people, it is just about them. People who are self-centered, who are only concerned about, you know, anything that will be to their own benefit and not to the benefit of the people. So guys, yeah, that is it. That is what is happening in Rivers State. You know, businesses are leaving. Those of them that are already there, they are leaving. Businesses that want to go to Rivers to invest, they cannot go there because of one man's interest, who claims that his future, his structure is being destroyed. That Fubara is destroying his structure, and that is why he feels he has to just keep fighting, even if it means destabilizing the state, that is willing to do it. So guys, it's good all these things are happening, as they have come out to say Wike cannot win an election but for rigging. So if there was to be no rigging in this, or Wike cannot survive winning an election. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.